Ladies and gentlemen, many of you already know who this is. This is RFK Jr. Well, he recently came out in the media to say he is in favor of reparations. Carving out lane to Biden's left. So, my question is, do you have a plan? What do you intend to do to get reparations through? I don't want to just hear they're in favor of reparations. What are they putting on the table to ensure that we get those reparations? Being in favor of it, that's a bunch of nothing. Okay. We are tired of getting a fistful of nothing. What are you going to put on the table if you believe we should get it? I don't give a rat's behind that this is a Kennedy. I could care less. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. supports issuing reparations to the Black community, making him the most prominent 2024 candidate in favor of the controversial policy meant to atone for slavery and legal segregation. President Biden has largely been silent. No, he's already came out and said he's not for it. Okay, we all know this. Him and Kamala have already come out to say they were not for reparations. Now, the only thing Biden did come out and say he was for was the study. Who the hell cares about some? We don't want to hear nothing else about a study. If you didn't have to study money before you sent it to Ukraine and Israel, you didn't have to study nothing before you gave the Asian crime bill. You didn't have to study any prior group that got reparations before us. We don't want to hear nothing about your studies. You can miss us all. So, Kennedy, he recently left the Democratic Party to become independent. He did this pretty recently. And you know, these candidates, ladies and gentlemen, are listening to what we're saying on social media. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's listening to us too. He knows what we're out here talking about. Now, I don't want it to be a situation where he's just trying to pluck votes away from Joe Biden, but at the end of the day, he really ain't going to do a thing. See, unfortunately, there is no track record of anybody going into office and going strong and hard for reparations. So, yes, I got to feel the way that I do. So, he has spoken out in favor of issuing federal dollars to rebuild Black infrastructure like banks and businesses, as well as direct redress payments or tax credits, rather than strings of cash giveaways. Why? You're giving that to immigrants. In fact, you can't give enough cash to Ukraine and now to Israel and the immigrants and everything. You even gave funding to the Asians when that hate crime bill went through for them. Y'all seem to have real deep pockets for everyone else, but when it become us melanated folks, all of a sudden, you don't have even a lint ball in your pocket. So anyway, communities that were specifically targeted for destruction need to be specifically targeted for repair, he said on his campaign website. During Jim Crow, Black banks, businesses, hospitals, schools, and farms were targeted for destruction. Racists knew that without these, the Black community had no chance of building wealth. We must set federal dollars aside to rebuild Black infrastructure. Well, you have to know it's not reparations unless it's cash payments. Cash payments. We don't want to hear about programs because it sounds like that's what he's leading to. All right. No, we need cash. If it's not cash, it's not reparations, plain and simple. So he goes on, and I say programs, y'all. Listen, these programs complement direct redress payments or tax credits to the descendants of the victims of Jim Crow and other victims of persecution. The pledge continues. Well, who are these other victims? We were the primary target during Jim Crow, and we're just like Jim Crow was still here because we're still the primary target. So, what other people are you talking about? See, oh man. Okay, let me go on. So this is what he said. So RFK Jr. will find ways to offer this redress that are legal, fair, and win the approval of Americans of all races. Kennedy has also said he supports establishing development projects like the Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, which his father helped found in 1967, along with then Mayor John Lindsay and then Senator Jacob Javits. Those actions are less likely to contribute to the polarizing between blacks and whites because it benefits everyone, even people who are Trumpers, everyone wants business to work and to flourish, Kennedy Jr. told YouTuber Matt Hoffa in a July interview. Well, the everyone talk, y'all got to get away from that. As politicians, we want to hear what you got specifically for the black community. See, I mean, look at how he started. Oh, yeah, black people should get reparations. And oh yeah, and and people that were victims of Jim Crow, victims of persecution, and other victims of, well, what are other victims? Because it sounds like you're trying to tie in all these other people. And then he gets to this everybody talk. See, now I'm not trusting it. I wasn't trusting it from the beginning, but I'm not trusting it now. The 69-year-old son of the late attorney general and senator from New York has courted traditional Republican and Democrat voters, raising concerns the environmental lawyer and anti jab activists may take votes away from both major party nominees next November. Biden has faced pressure from activist groups and Democrat members of Congress to issue an executive order on reparations amid congressional gridlock. The White House has maintained that the president supports a study into reparations, but has not specifically said whether he would sign a reparations bill. So that means he's not for it, y'all. How hard is it to say whether you would sign a reparations bill or not? And the way I'm seeing this, it's a no. It's a no. And plus, we don't hear Joe Biden going before cameras talking about reparations. It's a no. Why don't you just say no? Far left independent candidate Cornel West, who some Democrats are worried will steal votes away from Biden, also states he supports reparations. Well, he sure has not come out publicly enough to say it. He has said everything else except for reparations parting from his lips. West's platform includes plans to issue a derivative to complete the reparations process and findings within 2 years so checks can be cut and sent to eligible recipients. No, no, we should not have to qualify for these reparations if you already have records on who was born and raised on this soil. No, uh-uh. because then they'll be ruling out people that should be qualified. Boy, you really got to watch the devil. The devil really have many tricks. And call a push to Congress to pass a filibuster proof budget reconciliation for reparations and land back provisions. RFK Jr. campaign did not immediately respond to inquiry about specifics on his plan. Well, that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to come out here with the plan, and we don't want to hear no everybody talk. We don't want to hear no talk about programs and there's no cash payments. We don't want to hear it. If that's what you're going to come out with, don't come out with anything at all. And Cornell West, same goes to you. Now all of a sudden, Cornell West and RFK Jr. are talking reparations. Well, present a plan. We ain't heard nothing from you yet. Man, talk is cheap. Put the money on the table. Get the checks out. If you're talking anything less than that, we ain't trying to hear you. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.